Okay, here's a little bit of quarantine training video for everyone. Got a number of clips, a lot of good stuff we're going to go through. So this first example, we have a runner at third base. All right, and our hitter puts the ball in play. Our third is less than 2 outs. Our third base runner is watching the reading the throw, and advances home. Does a good job of advancing home. All right, we got to make sure, and I'll go back and play that again. We're getting good extension off the base, so we're not susceptible to the back pick, and be very confident that we can advance home. That was a situation where first baseman dropped the ball, but I think we would have been all right. Here's an example here. Now this is a situation where I guess it's more of a coaching decision than anything else, but at this point the score is tied. I believe it was 1-1 with 1 out, maybe no outs, 1-1 with no outs. We have infield in, and unfortunately for us, there's a 4 or 5 hopper right into the 5-6 hole, and now they go up 2-1, I believe, or maybe they tied it at this point. And then we strike out the next batter, all right, put us at 2 outs, and then we have a left-handed hitter here to a team that's really, really hitting the ball well, all right, and we leave these big holes open, and here's where the game kind of got broken open. 2-3 hopper into that 3-4 hole, and they score 2 runs, and it's 4-1 at this point, and then this left-hander, number 12, comes up, loops one down the left field line, and game at that point, we're down a bunch of runs, and we have a lot of catching up to do. So later in the Walsh game, here's a situation where we're down at least 4 or 5 runs. I think this was possibly the top of the third. If you recall, we had bases loaded, nobody out. We unfortunately had a ground ball double play back to the pitcher, to the catcher, a 1-2-3 double play. That leaves then runners at second and third. So we have bases loaded, nobody out. We weren't able to score anybody at that point, and we have runners at second and third with 2 outs. And here's what happens here: ball gets away slightly, and we try to take home, and we get thrown out. All right, we got to be real aware of the situation. Got to be aware of the situation. He's probably in there safe. And if I just for fun, we'll run a quick little replay. I think he clearly got his hand in there, right there. All right, hand in right there, tagged him in the head. But umpire called him out, and most of the time they will if the ball beats you there. But we got to know the situation and be aware. We're down a bunch of runs. Base hit can cut this game to 5-3, and now we're out of the inning. All right. So that's all I have for the Walsh game. Let's go to the Cuyahoga Falls game. Okay, and zoom in a little bit on Cuyahoga Falls. All right, here's a leather pick example. We'll run the leather pick in this one. Freed sets, and our shortstop cuts back behind. He's called safe. All right, he probably was safe, but it looks like our timing's pretty good on this one. Runner didn't get any bit of a secondary and such, but wanted to show that example. Here's an example here. All right, we have a runner at second base. Ball's about to be put in place to the shortstop. So runner at second base does a good job not advancing with the ball in front. Okay, all right, holds his position. All right, but then on release decides he's going to take off for third. All right, I believe that if this third baseman doesn't drop the ball, we're thrown out. Now we did early in the year, back in February, talk a lot about when this is appropriate to take off for third. All right, we didn't see any examples in the video we showed where it goes to the shortstop, especially this close to second base. Because the reason being is this is a short throw going all the way across the field, and then obviously the longer throw back to third base. Where this works is where you have a longer throw, a shortstop way deep in the hole, all right, having to throw all the way across the field, or a third baseman deep in the hole having to throw all the way across the field. All right, and there's trying to get some distance. In this case, you know, I'll run it. How far off second base are we here? All right, we're going back. We're going back. All right, at this point, maybe 7, 8 feet off second base. All right, so you got 72 or so feet that you need to travel in order for you to make it. And at this point, I think we just got to be careful there. We take advantage of that third base when a ball is deep in this hole being thrown all the way across, or a third baseman's deep, and we make sure we get enough distance here to not be susceptible to the back pick from a second baseman. So just be aware of that situation there. All right, here's a situation kind of similar, happened shortly thereafter. All right, we're on defense at this point. All right, I still got to be careful here, guys. I mean, look we're holding a runner on right-handed hitter. All right, that's one of those scenarios. Look at this 5-6 holes wide open. Again, we've had a lot of balls there. All right, so looks like we get back into position better. That's good. All right, we get in. You know, we do a good job of getting this baseball. Andrew does a good job of recognizing the runner's taking off at this point. All right, and so we're going to try to get the lead runner here. All right, unfortunately, you know, we make the throw, we drop it. Okay, but the fact is I think we did a really good job of recognizing lead runner. This runner was advancing. So if we're the runner, we obviously don't want to do this. All right, we obviously don't want to do this. He probably saw third base vacated, thought he could get there, and he did not. But overall, good reaction there by Andrew. So we saw this, and this was a crazy game. All right, we got 2 outs, bases loaded, and for some reason this coach wants to run a suicide squeeze. All right, so here comes the runner. Let's back that up again. All right, here comes the runner. I think this is free. Dominic's pitching. All right, runner's taking off, goes to lay down a bunt, pulls back, and runs right into an out. And there's your third out of the inning over. Really, really shocking. Well, shortly thereafter, guess what? Bases loaded situation. Bases loaded situation. And this is kind of crazy. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So I'll just play this, and you can watch it play. All right, so out of the inning. I mean, there's just so much there. I don't even know where to start. I mean, quite honestly, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of these suicide squeezes with bases loaded, which this was the second one he attempted here. And in this case, it looks like, I don't know, let's see, does the runner, and he pulls back. Okay, the hitter pulls back on a suicide squeeze. We know when you're asked to lay down a suicide squeeze, you have to get it down. And this batter pulls back. All right, and now everybody's in jeopardy at this point. All right, and then the craziness ensues from here. The one thing, and I'll kind of speed it up a little bit, but I'm really proud of the fact that the entire team, if we look, we got the entire team at this point in the infield. Everybody's being a part of this, okay? Everybody's being a part of this. I think we've done a good job of working on stuff like this similarly in a couple of the drills we do. And so I think it's really great that we didn't let down at that point and took full advantage. And once again, that coach ran his team right out of the inning. Okay. This one, we got to, I don't know, my opinion is we got to be careful. This is a ground ball, you know, typical ground ball to first base. I think there's just a little too much contact here. You know, so, I mean, I get the aggressive hustle and play, but it looks like we tried to bear hug or wrap or pull this kid down, and we don't want to end up in a fight. We don't want to end up getting a guy thrown out of the game. So we can't be doing that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to try to do your best in this case to avoid contact. We've even talked about head first slides on the outside. That's a possibility. Talk to one of the coaches at some point further about that. But I also recognize here we don't want to run into an out. Look at this runner here at second base. All right, he almost runs himself right into an out right there. Could have been tagged at that point. We don't want to be called for interference there either. So, and obviously this first baseman's pretty ticked off as to what happened there. I mean, he chucks the baseball across the field, and what are we going to fight or something? I mean, we don't want to do that. So, let's be careful with that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see here. Here's a situation here. So runner at second base, 2 outs. Okay. 99.9% of the time, when you're at a runner at second base with 2 outs and the ball gets hit to the outfield, coach is going to send you. Okay, coach is going to send you. And that's why you need to make sure you get a deep lead and a good secondary, because coach, 99.9% of the time, is going to be sending you home. All right, well, I believe this kid thought he was going home. This was the 99.9% of the time. All right, he does get a good secondary. Balls hit the left field. Coach is putting on the stop sign. Looks like the kid's kind of surprised by that. We hit the cut. He runs into an out. And once again, for the third inning in a row, they've run themselves out of the inning. Okay, so I bring this up because I believe in most cases we're going to throw through this cut. All right, we're going to throw through this cut to home. I believe because of the confusion here at third base, it's probably why Johnny, our left fielder, threw it to the cut and not through the cut. Maybe we called cut, but most of the time that's going to be a bang-bang play at the plate. And when you're that close to the infield, there's no reason why our outfielders can't throw a strike to the catcher at that point. It still worked out plenty well, but just something to think about, most especially if it's a do-or-die situation, runner at second base. Most of the time, the only way you're going to get that runner is you're throwing on a line. We're not throwing rainbows. We're not throwing fly balls in those situations there. Okay, so here's a good example. We got a ball 4 situation. All right, runner at second base. We got a ball 4 situation. Pitcher throws the ball to the backstop. All right, and our runner Andrew does a great job of recognizing ball 4. And now, if you notice, and we advanced to second. I think we did a good job of coaching down there, or Andrew did a great job of recognizing. One thing in this situation on a walk, and I'll have another example. We can start getting our turn early here, all right, and get out of the box, thinking too right out of the box here, because what happens in this situation, we had a live first and third, okay, it's a live first and third, I like to call it. Okay, balls to the backstop. Now, what do we got? We got a first and third situation. Okay, no different than any other first and third. The difference here, though, is the catcher is sitting 30 to 40 feet behind home plate. Okay, what does he do? What does he do? All right, if this catcher would have recognized Andrew running, he would throw this ball all the way across the field, and our base runner could score in this situation. Okay, so in this case, he just lobs it back to the pitcher. All right, and we advance to second base. It's great. So as a third base runner, you're watching to see, do they make a play on this runner or not? Because if this catcher has to throw it all the way to second base, you're walking him to home at this point. So be ready here at third base in that situation there. Good job advancing. Here's a situation here where we get thrown out at third base. I believe what was going on, and let me let that play through. All right, we run ourselves into an out here. But I believe what was in, and we've talked about this, seeing delayed steal. All right, I believe that the base runner here was thinking it was a good delayed steal opportunity. This catcher goes to his knees. This catcher frames. Um, takes his time. But with third base, you got to be very careful with third base because it's such an easy throw. This takes most catchers about 1.6 to 1.7 seconds to throw it here versus 2.2 seconds to throw it here. So you're looking over a half second longer just in the throw that needs to be made, the shorter base. So you need to get much better reads in order to steal third base in these situations. It would have helped too if this was a right-handed hitter and would have shielded a little bit as to what was going on here. This was not a right-handed hitter. So let's go to the Hoban game. All right. Here's an example here. We saw this a little earlier. I think it was in the Walsh game. On a good read on a ball in play with a runner at third base. All right, here we go. Infield's in. Let's back that up a little bit. Again, we got infield in. All right, we got a ball hit. Our third base runner is reading this. He's not advancing. He's looking for the throw to be made across the diamond, and then he takes off. We want to be careful though, and you watch this shortstop here. This is Sean Parnell. He's going to wrap around the third base. He's looking for a back door on this runner. All right, so we got to be careful not to get too far off that bag. And here we go. Ball's in play. Good read. Ball's released. Runner takes off. Slides in. Not a chance in getting in there. Now the one nice thing too is, and this we talk about with our catchers. This is such a hard tag to make. You need to catch it on your right side, all right? Backhand with your glove, backhand, and then come all the way around and make that tag. It is a very hard tag to make. Runner slides in there, not even a play, not even a tag, okay? So be ready. The other thing too to watch out here for is, most especially, let's imagine if this was a real slow roller, okay, we knew we had no chance at throwing here. This is where we can do a good pump fake. We know we have no chance of getting it. Pump fake, and our shortstop will wrap around. This runner will take off thinking it's going. So be aware. Pump fake right there. Pump fake that, and you pump fake that right there. Pump fake right there, and now this runner is dead. This runner is dead. So if we get the out, know the situation. If this runner means everything, it's tying a run, it's a winning run, it's late in the game, maybe it's worth taking that chance, but we need that shortstop, just like Sean Parnell did here, to come back around and make that play. So I think we got to do a better job, guys, especially, I don't know if I've ever heard doubles defense or no doubles defense. I've mentioned this before. We're playing too tight to this bag. We're seeing way too many balls in the 5-6 hole. Way too many balls for base hits in the 5-6 hole. Here's another example. Ground ball, 4-5 hopper, and it's in the 5-6 hole. All right. So I think we really, at some point early in the game, we got to try to squeeze this a little bit and be willing to give up a double down the line. I don't remember many doubles down the line, and we're God knows 10, 12 games into the season. So, but I can count at least 10 balls in the 5-6 hole, especially these multi-hoppers. I mean, this ball is 1, 2, 2, 3 hopper coming out. I mean, it's probably hit pretty hard, but anyways. And then here's a situation here. And I know it's this was early in the game, second inning or so. We got runners at second and third. I think the score was probably about tied. And in left field, all right, we decided to play up on this ball. All right, we decided to play up on this ball. It was 2 outs and 2-run score. All right. Now I know earlier in the game, I think Mikey Eichhoff had a line drive to center, and center fielder decided not to play up, and it turned into a triple. Okay, well, here was a situation. I know we had some earlier things in the season too, so I don't know. I guess we just have to have confidence sometime in wanting to make the big play, knowing the situation. This is early in the game and such. 2 outs. You know, I don't know. If that drops, it turns into 2 runs. It did. If we catch it, you know, it could be a different situation. So I'll play that one more time through. All right. Let's. Unfortunately, that came down. We backed up off of it, and they scored 2 runs. All right, and then here's the situation here. Late in the game, we were down several runs at this point. We have runners at first and second, and this is the infield fly. Okay, infield fly. Infield fly applies when there's runners at first and second, or bases loaded, and there's less than 2 outs. That's when infield fly applies. Now, what happens is if it's caught, if the infield fly is caught in fair territory, you as a base runner can tag up. Okay, if the ball is dropped, okay, and say you're going halfway or something, you do not have to tag up. You can advance on your own peril. But be aware, both offensively and defensively, there is no force in play. The infield fly automatically calls the hitter out, which eliminates the force, which requires the tags. Okay, you require to tag these individuals here. Okay, us as coaches, we need to be screaming, stay on the bag, stay on the bag, stay on the bag. All right, so here we go. Infield fly. Umpires pointing their hands up in the air. Infield fly. The ball falls. The ball falls at that point. Okay, we do not need to advance. We do not need to advance. But unfortunately, we had runners that decided to, one runner decided to take off. That runner is tagged. Okay, so I'll play this again. All right, here we go. Ball falls. Runner from first decides he's going to take off, and he is tagged right there. And there's your double play situation. Okay, so we're going to go, and I got to speed this up. So we're going to let this video load here. This will be a situation that comes up, and unfortunately the lake video is not as good as the others, but it does show us some stuff. We have a runner at first and second. Okay, first and second, and the second base runner decides to take third. We don't advance with the first base runner in this situation. Okay, second base runner is going to steal third here. All right, first base runner. Now, I don't know if the second base runner did it on their own or not, but if coach called that, then our first base runner needs to be advancing as well. Okay, if this base runner did it on his own, that's a different story. You got to kind of keep your head on a swivel and see if there's an opportunity, especially if he makes a throw to third base, there could definitely be an opportunity there to take second. I guess I just want to bring that up. As a catcher, in catching situations, you know, there are always opportunities to get backside runners stealing. All right, frontside runner gets a great jump. Backside runner sees frontside runner going. He tries to go, we can throw this kid out. We can throw this kid out. Okay, so wanted to put that. I wanted to show you, if you remember the lake game, the lake coaches and fans were crying about the strike zone, crying. Okay, well, look at how far back that catcher is from our hitter. And this was throughout the game. All right, I don't know how an umpire makes those calls when he has to be, you know, God, 6, 7, 8 feet behind the plate. Here's an example of where our catcher is. Okay, there's our catcher. There's their catcher. Our catcher, their catcher. Okay, so blame the coaches for not teaching. Now, we did have in this game, we did have catcher's interference, and you're going to get that every once in a while by being tucked up in there, but you really help the umpires in those situations. Here's a situation here, just like the one we saw earlier. This will be a ball 4 walk back to the screen, okay? And we need to take off right out of the box, especially we see ball and dirt on ball 4, right out of the box, and start that rounding quickly. All right, this was a situation where we decided to go. Unfortunately, we got thrown out. Whatever, it's a judgment call. down there, probably by the first base coach, made that call, go, 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 which, whatever. We tried. It's good aggressive base running. We got caught. But to help in making these opportunities happen, we need to get the heck out of the box quickly, all right, and see if there's an opportunity to take a base in that scenario. And here's, I guess this would be another one. Here's a ball four walk. All right, back to the screen. And that's the one. Let's get out. Let's get out early. All right, let's get out early, and maybe we get an opportunity. Okay. Here's something I was really impressed with. Runner at second base, base hit to the outfield. All right, we as a hitter are thinking double out of the box every time. Double out of the box every time. Okay. In this case, a ball will come in from the outfield. It flies the cutoff, and the hitter does a great job of advancing to second base. So here we go, making a round. He's thinking two right out of the box. Throw goes over the head, and let's look at that again. I don't know how well you can see, but here's the ball in play. Third baseman's the cut. All right, here comes the ball right here over the head. If you see that fly ball coming in from the outfield, good advance to second base. Okay, so here's another good example. Runner is on a steal, ball gets put in play, and the runner is thinking third right now. Right now, there's two outs in this situation as well. All right, so there's a steal, ball's a ground ball to third baseman, and base runner's thinking, third base right away. I think that was really a good job. I want to play that again, of just trying to advance to the next bag, taking advantage of it. The third base was vacated at that point as well, so that's a good thing to catch. This is the balk call on Nick Cody. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Sorry for the quality. Here's the lift, the throw over, picked off. All right, but I don't know. It's hard from this angle, but it does look like, we were trying to go. We weren't at that 45. We were beyond 45, so it's probably a good call at that point. Here's an example here of they show bunt. We have runners at first and second. Runners at first and second. They show bunt, and we don't move. We don't move. Okay, we got to be prepared to react to bunt situation. Nobody in the infield moves. I would believe we're on a one bunt coverage here with a runner at first and second. We normally are. So we got to think one, but we didn't have a first baseman move. I guess we had our second baseman move a little bit there, but never enough to be in time to cover first base. So got to be aware of that. And last but not least, Coach Borman talked about this. This is this interference obstruction call on a double play situation where we either have to run off out of the baseline, just run out into center field, right center field, or slide and don't pop back up. No pop-up slides. Just slide into the bag. Don't go over the bag. Don't go through the bag. Just a simple feet first slide into the bag, and you will not get called on interference. This is a ground ball. I believe it's a third baseman. He throws to second. All right, the second baseman is having to throw over top of our base runner, and we get called for a double play. Okay, so here we go. Ground ball, third baseman. Third baseman throws to second. Second baseman has to go over top our runner, and they end up calling the hitter out as well. So, all right, that took 29 minutes, a heck of a lot longer than I thought it would, but I think there's a lot of good things there we learned. All right, talk to you soon.